the rarest piece of Carver gear out there?
The rarest, silver 7s. That's it. There were only 50. Yeah. Sets. Remember, they were the most, at the time, they were the most expensive amplifiers on the face of the planet. So that's why they were only 50 made.
A comment from another member. I really like the synergy of the Amazings with Lightstar, and I was wondering if he would have built the Lightstar around the same time as the Amazings, if he did. Would they have gone through different iterations, and as a result, would they develop the Platinum version regardless?
The outcome would have been the same. The time frame was that the speakers came first, the amplifier came later. In fact, the tracking down converter, which is the conceptual underpinning of that amplifier, came after the loudspeaker. So the answer is, wouldn't have made any difference.
Now, here we go, and this is going to start a whole bunch of crap.
Oh, good. I love hot dirt.
From someone, no fingers pointed. Do my El Crapo cables matter?
Ah. I don't know. Okay.
Session over, goodbye. On his Lightstar, he doesn't hear a difference, but on other equipment, we do hear a difference. What are your thoughts? Just throw them out.
I have spent a long time sorting this issue out, and it goes something like this. There is no scientific reason, no valid, I shouldn't say valid, no noticeable, observable engineering or scientific reason that would suggest that they should sound different if the signal on the end of each cable is exactly the same. So here's an audio signal on the end of one cable, here's the audio signal on a different set of cables, and if they're the same, that means if I subtract the two and get a 0, A minus B equals 0. Now, how many recognize that as an equation? How many understand that if you take the B minus B and move it to the other side of the equal sign, the minus sign goes away and you have a new equation, A equals B. Who understands that? That's what the question amounts to. So, if A minus B equals 0, therefore A must equal B. And yet, we've all experienced this. We walk up, we listen, and it sounds different. It's impossible to get away from. So, at that point, what I do is I get philosophical about it. And it's, I ask, well, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, does it make any sound? That's a philosophical question. And so if they sound different to you, and I can't make the feeling go away, I stick with the cable that makes it sound different. Now, that isn't to say that if that A minus B isn't really 0, if there is a difference between the two signals, then the cables will sound different, and the interconnects will sound different. So from that perspective, there is a valid scientific and engineering reason that would suggest that cables and interconnects sound different. So, that's my clear, unequivocal, unambiguous, easily understood, no backpedaling answer to that question. Next.
In your experience, does material matter?
In my experience, does material, like what parts?
The type of materials made in the cable, or have you had enough time to experience them?
If it's a silver versus a copper wire, the silver will have less resistance. So if it's a very small, thin, like a British cable, the British guys, for connecting speakers, sometimes use a very thin piece of wire because they like the way it sounds. And so that would, if it's silver and it has a different resistance than a copper one, it could sound different. But if it doesn't, if it's thick enough so that the difference in resistivity is about the same, or not different enough to push us above a threshold of hearing, so we could hear a difference, then the answer is no. But if it is, then the answer is yes. So yes and no, and it depends.
Fair